Over the past 30 years, some of the biggest names in business have risen to incredible heights, only to come crashing down. These failures aren't just mere tales, they're treasure troves of lessons for entrepreneurs and business leaders. Today, we're diving into the stories of 30 major businesses that failed, analyzing what went wrong and uncovering the lessons we can learn from their mistakes. Numbers 19 and 29 will shock you. Let's get started. First, Blockbuster. Blockbuster was once the king of video rentals, with over 9,000 stores worldwide. At its peak, it was a cultural icon, synonymous with Friday night movie rentals. However, its failure to adapt to the digital age led to its downfall. When Netflix emerged with its mail-order DVD service, Blockbuster dismissed it as a niche market. By the time Netflix introduced streaming, Blockbuster was already playing catch-up. Despite launching its own streaming service, it was too little, too late. In 2010, Blockbuster filed for bankruptcy, and by 2014, all its stores had closed. Adapt or die. Businesses must stay ahead of technological trends and be willing to disrupt themselves before competitors do. Blockbuster's reluctance to embrace digital streaming serves as a stark reminder that no company is too big to fail. Innovation isn't just about creating new products. It's about anticipating shifts in consumer behavior and being agile enough to pivot. The lesson here is clear. Don't wait for change to force your hand. Be the driver of change. 2. Toys R Us. Toys R Us was a beloved toy retailer, a magical place for children, and a go-to destination for parents. However, its failure to compete with e-commerce giants like Amazon and its heavy debt load from a leveraged buyout sealed its fate. In 2005, private equity firms acquired Toys R Us and loaded it with debt, leaving little room for investment in modernizing its stores or building a robust online presence. As Amazon and Walmart dominated the toy market with competitive pricing and convenience, Toys R Us struggled to keep up. In 2017, it filed for bankruptcy, and by 2018, all its U.S. stores had closed. Debt can be a silent killer. Additionally, neglecting your online presence in the digital age is a recipe for disaster. Toys R Us's downfall highlights the importance of financial prudence and the need to invest in e-commerce capabilities. The lesson here is twofold. First, avoid excessive debt that limits your ability to innovate. And second, prioritize your digital strategy to stay competitive in an increasingly online world. Third, Kodak. Kodak was a pioneer in photography, with its iconic cameras and film dominating the market for decades. Ironically, Kodak invented the digital camera in 1975, but failed to capitalize on it. The company feared that digital photography would cannibalize its lucrative film business, so it shelved the technology. By the time Kodak embraced digital, competitors like Canon and Nikon had taken over. In 2012, Kodak filed for bankruptcy, marking the end of an era. Don't let fear of cannibalization prevent innovation. Sometimes you have to disrupt your own business to survive. Kodak's story is a classic example of the innovator's dilemma, where companies fail to embrace new technologies that threaten their existing business models. The lesson here is to prioritize long-term growth over short-term profits and be willing to take calculated risks to stay ahead of the curve. 4. Borders. Borders was a giant in the book retail industry, known for its vast selection and cozy reading spaces. However, it underestimated the rise of e-books and online retailers. In a critical misstep, Borders outsourced its online sales to Amazon, effectively handing over its e-commerce business to its biggest competitor. By the time Borders tried to build its own online platform, it was too late. In 2011, Borders filed for bankruptcy and closed all its stores. Never outsource your core competencies. Stay in control of your business's key functions. Borders' decision to outsource its online sales to Amazon was a fatal error that highlights the importance of maintaining control over critical aspects of your business. The lesson here is to invest in your own capabilities and avoid relying on competitors for essential services. Pan Am was a pioneer in aviation, known for its luxurious flights and global reach. However, poor management, rising fuel costs, and increased competition led to its collapse. Pan Am also failed to adapt to the deregulation of the airline industry, which allowed smaller, more agile competitors to thrive. In 1991, Pan Am filed for bankruptcy and ceased operations. Even industry pioneers can fall if they don't adapt to changing regulations and market conditions. Pan Am's downfall underscores the importance of agility and strategic foresight. The lesson here is to stay attuned to industry changes and be prepared to pivot when necessary. 6. Enron's collapse was one of the biggest corporate scandals in history. The energy company used fraudulent accounting practices to hide debt and inflate profits. When the truth came to light, Enron filed for bankruptcy in 2001, and its executives faced criminal charges. Integrity is non-negotiable. Ethical lapses can destroy even the most successful companies. Enron's story is a cautionary tale about the dangers of greed and dishonesty. The lesson here is to prioritize transparency and ethical behavior in all aspects of your business. 7. Lehman Brothers. Lehman Brothers' bankruptcy in 2008 triggered the global financial crisis. The investment bank's risky investments in subprime mortgages and excessive leverage were its undoing. When the housing market collapsed, Lehman Brothers couldn't cover its losses and filed for bankruptcy. Risk management is crucial. Over-leveraging can lead to catastrophic consequences. Lehman Brothers' downfall highlights the importance of prudent financial management and the dangers of excessive risk-taking. The lesson here is to maintain a balanced approach to risk and avoid overextending your resources. 8. Sears. Sears was once the largest retailer in the U.S., known for its catalog and department stores. However, it failed to adapt to the rise of e-commerce and big-box stores. Poor leadership and a lack of innovation sealed its fate. In 2018, Sears filed for bankruptcy. Even legacy brands must innovate to stay relevant. Complacency is a death sentence. Sears' downfall underscores the importance of continuous innovation and staying attuned to consumer preferences. The lesson here is to never rest on your laurels and always strive to improve. 9th. Circuit City. Circuit City was a leader in consumer electronics, but failed to compete with Best Buy and online retailers. Poor customer service and a lack of differentiation led to its downfall. In 2009, Circuit City filed for bankruptcy. Customer experience matters. Differentiate yourself or risk being forgotten. Circuit City's story highlights the importance of delivering exceptional customer service and standing out in a crowded market. The lesson here is to prioritize your customers and find ways to differentiate your brand. 10. BlackBerry. BlackBerry dominated the smartphone market but failed to innovate as Apple and Android took over. It clung to its physical keyboard while competitors embraced touchscreens. By the time BlackBerry tried to catch up, it was too late. Don't cling to outdated features. Innovate or risk obsolescence. BlackBerry's downfall underscores the importance of staying ahead of technological trends and being willing to let go of the past. The lesson here is to embrace change and continuously innovate. 11th. Radio Shack. Radio Shack was once a go-to destination for electronics enthusiasts, offering everything from resistors to radios. However, the company failed to adapt to the rise of big-box retailers like Best Buy and online giants like Amazon. Its stores became cluttered and outdated, and its brand identity grew unclear. Radio Shack filed for bankruptcy twice, in 2015 and 2017, before closing most of its stores. Brand clarity is essential. Know who you are and who you serve. Radio Shack's inability to define its niche in a rapidly changing market led to its downfall. The lesson here is to stay focused on your core audience and adapt your offerings to meet their evolving needs. Additionally, maintaining a clean and modern retail experience is crucial in today's competitive landscape. 12. Woolworths. Woolworths was a retail giant, known for its variety stores and lunch counters. However, it failed to compete with discount stores like Walmart and modern retailers. Woolworths struggled to adapt to changing consumer preferences and filed for bankruptcy in 1997, closing all its U.S. stores. Stay attuned to consumer trends. What worked yesterday may not work tomorrow. Woolworth's inability to modernize its stores and offerings highlights the importance of staying relevant in a rapidly changing market. The lesson here is to continuously monitor consumer behavior and be willing to evolve your business model to meet new demands. 13. MGM Studios. MGM, once the crown jewel of Hollywood, began declining in the 1980s due to poor leadership, creative stagnation, and financial mismanagement. It went through multiple ownership changes, missed out on adapting to digital distribution, and filed for bankruptcy in 2010. Constant innovation is crucial in creative industries. Ownership changes must be strategic, not disruptive. Embracing new distribution platforms early can ensure longevity. 14. Compaq. Compaq was a leader in personal computers, known for its innovative designs and competitive pricing. However, it struggled to compete with Dell's direct-to-consumer model and HP's innovation. Compaq was eventually acquired by HP in 2002, marking the end of its independence. Business models matter. Sometimes how you sell is as important as what you sell. Compaq's inability to adapt to Dell's direct sales approach highlights the importance of staying flexible and exploring new distribution channels. The lesson here is to continuously evaluate your business model and be willing to experiment with new strategies. 15. Polaroid. Polaroid was synonymous with instant photography, but it failed to adapt to the rise of digital cameras. Despite inventing the digital camera, Polaroid hesitated to embrace the technology, fearing it would cannibalize its film business. Polaroid filed for bankruptcy twice, in 2001 and 2008, before reinventing itself as a lifestyle brand. Reinvention is possible, but it's better to adapt before hitting rock bottom. Legacy brands must innovate beyond nostalgia. Polaroid's story is a reminder that clinging to outdated technologies can be fatal. The lesson here is to embrace change and explore new opportunities before your competitors do. Disruption is inevitable. Embrace change or risk extinction. 16. Sharp Corporation. Sharp began losing ground in the late 2000s. Despite being an innovator in LCD technology, it failed to capitalize on the smartphone boom and made poor financial bets on risky investments. By 2015, it was deeply in debt and sold a majority stake to Foxconn in 2016. Innovation without strategic execution is not enough. Diversification should be supported by solid financial planning. Adaptability is vital in fast-paced tech markets. 17th. MySpace. MySpace dominated early social networking from 2005 to 2008, but quickly declined due to an overloaded interface, excessive ads, and mismanagement post-News Corp acquisition. It failed to keep pace with Facebook's clean design and better user engagement strategies. User experience should always be a priority. Growth must be balanced with scalability and innovation. Leadership decisions and platform evolution must align with user needs. 18. American Apparel. American Apparel was known for its edgy marketing and made in the USA ethos. However, the company faced lawsuits, scandals, and financial troubles. Its failure to adapt to changing consumer tastes and ethical concerns led to its downfall. American Apparel filed for bankruptcy twice, in 2015 and 2016. Ethics and brand reputation matter. Scandals can destroy trust overnight. American Apparel's story highlights the importance of maintaining a positive brand image and addressing ethical concerns promptly. The lesson here is to prioritize transparency and ethical behavior in all aspects of your business. 19. Theranos. Theranos promised revolutionary blood testing technology, but was exposed as a fraud. The company's downfall was a result of unethical practices and overhyped claims. In 2018, Theranos dissolved, and its founder, Elizabeth Holmes, faced criminal charges. Transparency and honesty are non-negotiable. Overpromising and under-delivering can destroy credibility. Theranos' story is a cautionary tale about the dangers of deception and the importance of delivering on your promises. The lesson here is to prioritize integrity and ensure your claims are backed by evidence. 20. Quibi, a short-form streaming service, failed to attract subscribers despite massive funding. The company misjudged consumer preferences and launched during the pandemic, a time when people were seeking longer-form content. Quibi shut down just 6 months after its launch. Timing and market fit are everything. Even well-funded startups can fail if they don't understand their audience. Quibi's story highlights the importance of conducting thorough market research and launching at the right time. The lesson here is to validate your concept with your target audience before investing heavily. 21st. JCPenney. JCPenney, a staple of American retail, struggled to compete with e-commerce and fast fashion retailers. Poor leadership decisions, including a failed rebranding effort, accelerated its decline. In 2020, JCPenney filed for bankruptcy. Rebranding is risky. Understand your core audience before making drastic changes. JCPenney's downfall underscores the importance of staying true to your brand identity while adapting to market changes. The lesson here is to balance innovation with consistency. 22nd. Barings Bank. Barings Bank, one of the oldest banks in the UK, collapsed in 1995 due to unauthorized trading by a single employee, Nick Leeson. His risky bets on derivatives led to losses exceeding $1 billion. Internal controls are critical. One rogue employee can bring down an entire organization. Barings Bank's collapse highlights the importance of robust risk management and oversight. The lesson here is to implement strong internal controls and monitor employee activities closely. 23. Yahoo. Yahoo was once a dominant internet player, but lost its edge due to poor strategic decisions, like turning down a Google acquisition, weak leadership, and a lack of mobile strategy. It was eventually sold to Verizon in 2017. Timely decision-making is key in tech. Innovation should be consistent, not reactionary. Strong visionary leadership makes or breaks tech companies. 24th. WorldCom, a telecommunications giant, collapsed in 2002 due to accounting fraud. The company inflated its assets by $11 billion, leading to one of the largest bankruptcies in history. Ethical accounting practices are non-negotiable. WorldCom's collapse highlights the dangers of financial manipulation. The lesson here is to prioritize transparency and adhere to ethical accounting standards. 25. Arthur Andersen. Arthur Andersen, one of the Big Five accounting firms, collapsed in 2002 due to its involvement in the Enron scandal. The firm was found guilty of shredding documents related to Enron's audits. Reputation is everything. Arthur Andersen's downfall underscores the importance of maintaining integrity and avoiding conflicts of interest. The lesson here is to prioritize ethical behavior and protect your reputation at all costs. 26. MCI Communications. MCI Communications, a pioneer in long-distance telephone services, struggled to compete with larger telecom companies and filed for bankruptcy in 2003. Scale matters. MCI's inability to compete with larger rivals highlights the importance of achieving economies of scale. The lesson here is to focus on growth and efficiency to remain competitive. 27. Washington Mutual. Washington Mutual, one of the largest savings and loan associations, collapsed in 2008 due to risky mortgage lending. It was the largest bank failure in U.S. history. Risk management is crucial. WAMU's downfall underscores the importance of prudent lending practices. The lesson here is to avoid excessive risk and maintain a balanced portfolio. 28th. Bear Stearns. Bear Stearns, a major investment bank, collapsed in 2008 due to its exposure to subprime mortgages. The Federal Reserve facilitated its sale to J.P. Morgan Chase. Diversification is key. Bear Stearns' overexposure to risky assets highlights the importance of diversifying your investments. The lesson here is to avoid putting all your eggs in one basket. 29th. Nokia. Nokia reigned supreme in mobile phones during the early 2000s, but failed to transition to smartphones. Clinging to its Symbian OS and a late pivot with Microsoft's Windows Phone led to its rapid decline. Microsoft acquired Nokia's phone division in 2014. Past success doesn't guarantee future relevance. Agility is more important than legacy. Listening to consumer trends and acting swiftly is vital in tech evolution. 30. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, government-sponsored enterprises, were placed under conservatorship in 2008 due to their exposure to risky mortgages. Risk management is critical. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac's downfall underscores the importance of prudent lending practices. The lesson here is to prioritize risk management and avoid excessive exposure to high-risk assets. These 30 businesses may have failed, but their stories are packed with valuable lessons. From adapting to change and managing debt to prioritizing ethics and innovation, the keys to success are clear. Learn from their mistakes, and you'll be better equipped to build a business that stands the test of time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights into the world of business.